The first half of this wipe can only be described as utter despair, to the point I almost abandoned the video entirely until I made one of the most clutch plays I've ever made in all of my hours of Rust. Sit back, relax, and enjoy my suffering, but as always, there was plenty of action. Let me show you. It had been a good few months now since I'd built next to the water, and Stimpy's latest videos inspired me to go back again. I wanted to become Poseidon himself. I was going to try and rule the ocean and rat it as best as I possibly could. I spawned in, found a combat knife, and started shanking people on my way to victory.
Come here, boy.
That was close. It's not about whether they have something, it's about asserting dominance.
Don't kill me, please. No, it's me. Remember me? No, don't kill.
I honestly thought I was going to be dead by now. Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, sure.
This place could be a social experiment on White Day, to be honest. New meta unlocked. Get a combat knife and camp a mining outpost. Tell you what, I'm pretty keen to get back in a sub again. Get this 2x1 down and then get up to some shenanigans. The shanking escapade was over. The starter was down, but the frickin' server crashed and rolled back to when I first got on the train. Some rats knew I took the train, waited and tried to ambush me, but luckily I got away with my life. I put the starter down again for the second time and headed out to go see who my neighbours were. Dodging a weave and a cleave. place is crawling with people. I seen like 5 when I was coming in on the train earlier. I miss the compound bow days. Look what I found. I've never seen this before. It needs to die. If it weren't for the annoying gunshots, I'd be half tempted to leave him here. Imagine you go through doors with Satchel, you just see this guy in there. It'd be like a jump scare and a half. Imagine an Ioka that shot a bean can grenade out.
You are.
Oh, close. Can't believe he would stoop to that level. My God. Can't get him, so I'll get this one shooting back at him. I'm a rat. I made them fight each other, baited one out and then he yoked him. There's a place in hell for me. This is going almost a bit too well. I think I'm going to continue with my ratting escapade and get a few more resources built up. Oh, yeah, he's gonna be angry. He had a pipe. Did you hear that? The sound of torpedoes. How I long for the ocean. Oh, that's some serious wipe day loot. It's only like 2 hours in a wipe. Got a double barrel shotgun. Stuff farmer barrels when you can farm players farming barrels. Oh, give me your pump. Glad I got that pump, but he doesn't have any slugs though. But still, that thing is OP for underwater labs, and there is one not too far away from me. I'd been hitting barrels and killing everyone else hitting barrels and just being a complete rat in general. I needed to liquidate my ratting assets into cold hard scrap so I could get some BPs and buy a sub. I risked a trip to the Bandit on the train line and also set myself up a little sub base in preparation for, well, ocean ratting.
Well, there's nothing left to say. Well, the good good time is over, then I'll be on my way. But I'll come around swinging when the fire's all burned out. It's hard to believe in love, so never let your guard down, 'cause I'll come back swinging. You walk, you talk like you've been around, way down, oh I can feel it. You scream, you shout, you let it out, make me a believer. How many nights do we have to hide when two wrongs don't make it right? How many times can I say goodbye till I get through to you? When time is running out and the dream is over, you need some time to figure out that what comes around goes around. You say you always be around somehow. Oh, I can see it. You scream, you shout, you let it out. You make me a believer. How many lies do we have to hide when two wrongs don't make it right? How many times can I say goodbye till I get through to you? Oh, won't you listen, try to make your decision. That isn't better to follow you down. I'm caught in the middle, but I tried just a little. It's so damn hard. How many lies do we have to hide when two wrongs don't make it right? How many times can I say goodbye till I get through to you? How many lies do we have to hide when two wrongs don't make it right? And how many times can I say goodbye till I get through to you? How many
The Prim Wars were over. I had my sub base, a sub BP, and a sub. I went and laid claim to the area I planned to put my main base in, and then I was going to go drive around out in the 7 seas and try and torpedo as many things as I could that had a pulse. This is some prime real estate right here. Do need to go out for a few hours today to do the shopping, but at least we got the build spot. Classic. What a stitch up. There's a lesson to be learned here. Always do home delivery or your build spot will get stolen. I have a feeling that that base is going to be absolutely huge. It's like 5 of them, but it is what it is. Time to go find another build spot. This base design likes really flat areas. This one isn't as flat, but it'll do. If you want to look this base up, I get asked a lot about in the comments. It's called the Death Blossom. Just YouTube it, you'll see it. It's really good for online raid defense. This version I'm building is a modified one, and I am working on a heavily modified version that you will see in a couple videos time. Time to go submarining. I was about to jump into sub, but there's a raid going on across the water and I'm in the perfect position to be able to counter it. Didn't do his maths, his gun broke. I'm gonna quickly go back and finish that. That door's on like 30 health. Did I get him? Well, there we go. Guess he came back to try and finish his raid. But he's not missing out on much. He doesn't know that, but I do. I feel like a Navy SEAL. After that short distraction, it's now time to take the sub out for its first spin. These things are legit OP as hell when they're in the right hands. Large oil rig was not that far away from me, and I was pretty much just going to patrol it for the rest of the day. Ooh, a jewel. It's like submarine jousting. I'm yet to lose a submarine duel, and I don't intend to make this the first time. Oh, I got a hit. This is where they panic and they mess up. Yes. Aquatic animal. I think my play name is very fitting. That first little subplay of this entire wipe brought back memories of all the wipes before this of my days in the submarines. I was just having too much fun with it. I sat down there for the rest of the day just ratting as best I could. There is a lot of footage and it is too much to leave out, so sit back, relax and enjoy the 54th best submarine play in all of the lands. Well, I wasn't lying to you when I said I was going to spend the entire day in that submarine and just rat anyone who went to oil rig. Now, the same thing happened to me last video. As quick as Rust likes to give you loot, and at this point I had a lot of it, it takes it away just as quick. I had one of the biggest setbacks I've ever had in Rust to date. This is where the title of this video really starts to become relevant. Well, it's time to turn my comps from my submarine ratting into scrap. Last time I went through the trains it was pretty safe, so I think we'll do it again. Only got myself to blame. Well, I'm going to go back down labs and try to get some of that back. I don't know, the scientists aren't here but all the crates are, so it is probably empty. Maybe not, who knows. That guy knows. Alright, I'm going to try Dome this time. It's miles away from everything, in the middle of nowhere. You can see in the distance. Should be peaceful. They're everywhere. Oh, at least I got reverse. Might be able to get my body. Nope. I was out putting bags down, but I'll try counting this Raven in the Yoka. Oh, come on, Rust. Oh, I've been out putting bags down. That's my stash base. Please do not tell me that that is raided. Oh, please don't find the bunker. This guy is like you guys watching me in my misery.
Is what it is, man.
Oh, they got the gun. They knew it was a bunker. Do you know how much stuff was in there? One of my most fun days in Rust ever was yesterday in my sub, and now it's turned today into one of my worst days ever with having my pixel gap 2x1 raided. What makes this raid particularly bad is that during my white progression there's a very small window of vulnerability where pretty much all of my farm is in 2x1 pixel gaps. I pull everything together to be prepared to build main base, but these guys have raided it, figured out it was a pixel gap bunker, and pretty much cleaned me. I was legit left with crumbs, a P250, a wetsuit, and what followed was maybe the greatest pressure play I've ever done. Someone's just left the scrapper and going down the train tunnels. Surely I can catch him, I need it. I'll chase this guy through the whole tunnel network if I have to. Getting close now. That's a start. I have a bolty with 8 bullets. Well, it's a bit of a trek back to main base, so I'm actually quite far away, through the open snow on a full pop server. That's not good. I have to go that way. Holy can't swear YouTube. Oh, I'm just gonna wait here for a second, I think. Let that all die down. I don't know what that guy was doing. I got a tier 2 out of it. Like, oh, who knows? Rust. It's like a 20-minute adventure. That was one of the more clutch plays I think I've ever done in Rust. In the time I was gone though, someone tried to raid my frickin' boat base and there was guys doing laps around my base in a car. I had to go deal with these two little distractions first, but the plan is to actually finish my main base, and that's what I was going to do. Can't do any fun activities these days. You leave your base and you get frickin' raided. Luckily there was like nothing in there, but that's one little problem solved. I've been farming, I want to finish main base, but these guys keep driving around. I don't know why I thought it, but I honestly thought that that guy was going to be loaded, but he literally had nothing. Guess his little mate had all the loot in the car. Death Blossom. That's this base. YouTube it if you want to see it. This is a bit of a modified version of it, but you get the point. I'll elaborate a little bit on what I was saying earlier in the video. I've actually been working on my own base design. I've been playing Rust now for quite a while, and I've been pummeled by more zergs than I can count. I've been collecting data on my little different base designs, and I have come up with one that I really favour. Not the next wipe, but the one after. I will be building that base, so you'll get to see it in all of its entirety. Probably will skip over most of this base build and editing. I've told you we can see it and I've built it before, so we'll just get this base done and then we'll move on to some more higher tier stuff like raiding.
If you want a base.
What did you say?
Yesterday, but jumping off if you want a base, cheers. Yeah, they're jumping off now. Yeah, mate, just getting fisted. Had a good day yesterday, but yeah, gonna go jump. Yeah, the snow's just too hectic, eh? Next wipe I might just build some T1 zone and just kill natives for 4 weeks. Get my eye in, you know? Yeah, bit of practice.
There's nothing too crazy in here, but I told you, this area, it like breaks people mentally. He cracked before me. This will actually help me finish main base. I wasn't lying when I said that this place completely broke people mentally. To the point I almost quit the video. It was an absolute nightmare. It was like the most dense 4 squares of Rust I've ever seen in my life. But this guy broke before me. He gave me his base. It wasn't particularly loaded, but it helped enough to get me towards late game. One of my plans this video was to do a massive 50-60 rocket online raid. I needed a bunch more stuff before that could happen. I actually tried to finish building my main base, but as you're about to see, this is why this guy quit this wipe. It's never ending. Why even bother? Like, they can't get in anymore. Honestly, that sequence probably could have gone for 10 hours. The place I was living in was Grub City, and they did not discriminate against you if you were a solo or not. If it was free, they'd go for it. The weird thing about this server though was supply drops were weirdly common. I needed some tier 3 BPs, and I went out to try counter a couple of them to get them.
Moved across the country, stranger to this city. You can have my dinner, you can have my dinner, you can have my dinner, girl. New jobs got you down, sleeping on the couch. You can have my pillow, you can have my pillow, you can have my pillow, girl. And oh, it's only 'cause you're one of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind, one of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind, one of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind, one of a kind. I wish that you were mine. Stay here for a while. I'd do anything to see you smile. You can have my ticket. You can have my ticket. You can have my ticket, girl. When I dream, I see you by my side, holding you close, running together through this life. One of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind. One of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind. One of a kind, yeah, you are one of a kind. One of a kind. I wish that you were mine.
I'd been upgrading my base off camera as I got the resources, but this is where the fun begins, the offline raids. But luckily, I outsmarted them and they got very little, but it was still annoying nonetheless. This one's weird, they've like gone up, but they haven't come from up. Oh, that's bad. They didn't even get upkeep. How nice of them, they left the TC. I actually know where Maurice lives. hold back my poor base. Why would they try and raid this when there's like a fresh raid base outside? Like, I don't get it. I have said in previous videos that I'm a bit of a loot hiding goblin. Unfortunately these days you have to be as a solo if you want to survive because offline raiding is so prevalent. I'd hidden all my loot and was offline 3 days in a row. I was working long hours at work and didn't really get to play much, but the guys who offlined me pretty much got nothing. All I had to do each day was refarm my upkeep and put it back in my base. But now that was all over, I actually recognised one of the names. I knew that Maurice played with a guy called Monkey and one other. They lived down in the water and they were probably going to be my raid target. But guess what? It all went to crap very quick. I keep tabs on my neighbours and Maurice lives down here with Monkey. And I think there's another one as well, so I'm going to go suss their base out and see if it's even raidable. See this right here? This is the evidence. Bit of steam stalking. What? I guess they had more and much bigger enemies than me. What are the odds that you're like standing out in front of their base and they just get smashed by an MRS rocket? I know exactly where these guys live. They've got a notorious offliner in their group, but they're freaking too deep to raid. Like, even if I winged it and fluked it, it'd still be pretty much impossible. Oh, it's Monkey. He's on the rebuild. I am going to put a stop to this. My neighbour's decayed base is getting raided, and I can almost guarantee I know who it is. It was the rat himself. He must be desperate. Unfortunately, offlining is a part of Rust. I'm guilty of it from time to time, but karma gets you in the end. Monkey and his mates offlined me, then got raided, then I killed him on his rebuild, and then I've killed him again in his last raid. I didn't see him again after this, so I assume this was pretty much all he had left. My area was still kicking off even a week or two into wipe. There was raids everywhere. I could hear torpedoes off in the distance. My plan was to get a balloon and go for a bit of a scout to find a new raid target after Monkey got raided. But I got a little bit distracted by all the little raids around the area. Sank his getaway vehicle. Nah. There's too much stuff.
Well, you bad player. You have not beat me in fair 1v1. All you do is grub. This is the one that can only grub to win a fight. The only way you have big base is because you grub. How? How does it feel playing a game built for 7-year-olds while playing it as an adult? Shouldn't you have a job and a life? Why waste life on game? Yes. Yes.
This guy wasn't too happy I countered his raid with my submarine. I actually went back through the footage and had a look, and I killed that guy numerous times with my submarine, and he was not happy about it. We talked a whole lot of crap to each other, running laps around my base for like a good 15 minutes, but I was starting to get distracted. I needed to get back to the original goal, which was to find a raid target. I jumped in the balloon and started scouting out the deep snow for something that I could raid. That was going to be the last maiden voyage for my balloon this wipe. When I was out and about, I did actually find 2 bases I was very interested in raiding in. The original plan was to hit one big base with a massive raid, but I did notice a small juicy farm base off to the side. I was going to hit that first and in hope that I could profit with some materials to get more rockets for a big raid. I did find a base I was very interested in. It was half established, there was 5 people inside of it, it didn't have its turrets yet, and it was probably going to be the one I wanted to hit. I wouldn't be able to online a 5-man with full turrets, but I reckon I'd be able to pull this one off. No idea if they're there or not. Their main base is like 5 grids over, but we're about to find out. There has to be stuff in here. I've seen the furnaces on for like most of the day. Nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that was quite simple. I am dreading this big raid a little bit, to be honest. It was time for the big raid. If you watched my last video, I tested a little method. I fixed a few flaws in that method for this one, and we're going to roll up with about 50 rockets, 4C4 and a whole lot of explosive ammo. I went and got a car, scouted out the best way to raid this thing, and prepared myself for what was probably going to be the hardest raid I've ever done. There were 3 online when I scouted them, but when I raided them, there was only 1. But there was that many freaking counters that it might as well just been a 10-man online raid anyway. It was time to get down to business and to see if I managed to pull it off or not. Yeah, nah, don't really have a whole lot to lose at all, do I? I think I'm most vulnerable in that first minute or so when I put the wall and the raid base down, but once I get the base down and turrets up, I think I should be okay to at least do something. Well, a lot went on there. It's good to know that solos can still rocket raid now with the car update. I couldn't steal the base, they had externals. I did manage to break into a couple loot rooms and got away with a bunch of metal, sulfur, HQM and some AK kits. I managed to clean up a bit from the counter raids. If it weren't for catching those guys off that were trying to raid my raid base, I probably wouldn't be standing here telling you about the somewhat success that I had. The loot was back in main base now. Didn't really know what to do with it, to be honest, and I did lie to you guys a little bit. I said earlier in the video it would be the last time I took a balloon out. Well, I went for one last maiden voyage because I had an M2 and more ammo than I knew what to do with. Nothing like mean flying balloons around oil rig. That was one of the most grueling wipes I've ever had to play, but it had some pretty serious highs and lows and I'm quite happy with how it came out. Now I just have to sit back and spend 30 hours editing a video, yay! I was getting grubbed so hard, all wipe, the last thing I wanted was for people to get my loot from a decaying base, so I despawned my loot in style. Thanks for watching guys, as always I appreciate it. Next wipe's plan is to build in a cave. We'll see how we go.